Listening once again. Welcome forward to Reasons Right at the Tree of Life. I'm your host, the great Owl, Jerome Butler, in the presence of my co-host, brother Ramon Singh.
Perfect love.
Perfect love, brother.
Perfect
Once again, perfect love. Joy to be here. Yeah, nice day in Mandeville, Jamaica. Yeah, like any good place in earth right now, you know. Yeah, man, just reminding you, we're not a part of no secret organization. Hallelujah. No lodge, no this, no brotherhood, no fraternity of no nothing. You understand? Just servants of the living God. So don't ever get it twisted when we're speaking on metaphysical knowledge. We have no titles, no degrees over our heads, and no master save the Most High that is directing, hallelujah, our thoughts and expressions here. Just want to put a disclaimer on before we get a little slipping. So currently we're going to reason on reptilian. What is reptilian? Who are reptilians? Are they reptilians? Because once in the new age times of my consciousness, kind of had stronger perceptions about reptilians and coming from another planet, Dracos, Draconians. And now I don't know. Because I remember that another teacher had taught me back in the day that, reptilians had become like the fallen energy fields, right? Like, people be talking about like, fallen angels, and they'll be like, well, yeah, those are like reptilians, those are like the bloodlines of the Anunnakis. And so, reptilians, that's what they are. Mm-hmm. And some people say, they're a certain race, and some people say, no, they're all races, but it is so vague. I just want me to mention one more premise. Some people say that they are early inhabitants of planet Earth during certain periods, maybe a little bit after Satya period, because the Earth has been through several ages, but probably before the Bronze Age, the Golden Age, one of those ages. They're said to be man of the silicone nature, and then reptilian man, reptilian beings. Brother Singh, I think you might be a repository on this information more than me. So I'm going to admit it, because this thing just blows my mind, so I just turn it over to you.
Yeah, man. So one night, when I was about 20, I see a spacecraft in the air, a UFO, an identifiable flying object, you see me? It wasn't me alone, about me and like 4 other brethren. See this craft hovering, slowly moving over our head, and it's a massive craft, like couple football field long, like a triangle craft, with some light coming up from underneath. Yeah. And everybody was shocked. We not even think to take out a phone or something like that. It's like,
hallelujah.
I don't know if you ever see something in reality and you just never seen nothing like it before.
Yeah, it's far different from what people think it would be.
It's just like you try to understand it, you're frozen. You say, what is this? So after that encounter, bring me upon a journey to find out about these aliens and this and that, and the greys, and bring me to reptilians. And I say, oh, reptilians. Because they must say are the same bloodline as the high people in the earth. The queen and king and Rere, the Rothschilds and them one there. You see me? Reptilian blood. So, me used to believe in this reptilian thing, you see me? Because that the research has shown me.
See.
Until I find Christ now, it brings me upon a deeper level now of understanding of what was happening. Because when you view something when you have Christ, it's a total different image than when you have Christ.
I would say
you see the truth to the matter.
Yes.
Because you find out that the same king and queen and Rothschilds and them one there, same bloodline as the fallen ones. So you know, so the bloodline of the fallen ones and the bloodline of reptilian, it connect. Because them would say when them fall, them image of a divine character change into this lizard-like looking creature. Because of those them it's like them, what you call it now,
the aura.
Well, alright. Yeah man. Basically them appearance.
Yeah.
You see me?
Because I mean, if your core nature change, it change basically what you become.
Yes, I. Yeah, man. So I find out that the reptilians, because in the same alien research, you find out that the reptilians are the leaders. And you find out that Lucifer is their master.
Yes, I've understood this. Like I said, they said that they are the fallen ones, and when they did descend to Earth, and I guess out of the celestial realms, they took on the lower form of a reptile, and then hence the term, I guess, reptilian, or at least lizard-like appearance. You know, my one experience with reptilians, to be honest, is on the astral plane. So therefore, that is why I never squarely place them, because you have to speak of what you know, not of what you heard, in a definitive sense, right? And so that's why I spoke connotatively before. So I won't speak denotatively now, because I've actually had this experience. So I had a astral experience one night, and a specific land. I don't want to mention the land because I know it is still contested in the astral. Very turbulent space, this particular spaces, which is congruent with the awakening of a certain level of consciousness within Jamaica. Let's just say that. So anyway, my bloodline, my little family bloodline, had ownership of this land. So by the ancient family blood rights, my spirit could naturally astral travel to our own property. Yeshua. Understand? So I was walking to the astral on my property, and some of my family members and the people who were workers on the estate came to me and said to me there was a creature who had taken possession of a part of the land and were hurting them, eating them, and destroying them. I want you to hear me carefully. So I went around and I encountered this creature on a hill on the property overlooking a great portion of 3 dimensions in Jamaica right here. I encountered him and I stated my right to the land, to my ancestry. Being a cacique, it is mine, it is ours. So I stated that clearly, and a fight ensued. So the spirit described the reptilian. It was green in color, did not have a huge tail, but a reasonable sized tail. It was probably about 9 or 10 feet tall, probably about maybe 500, 650 pounds in appearance to a human consciousness, just distributed over that, with massive arms and a tongue that hung from the mouth. And I just remember strong muscles, very crochet, very vicious creature, venomously vicious. And we fought to the valley, and we fought across the hill, right? And we defeated him by the powers in my grandfather's church, right? Because in the ancient land we had an ancient temple and a tabernacle, and the fight went there. And I gathered spiritual power and I struck that reptilian, and I removed that reptilian from out of our land, right? And that has been my encounter with Khasari, with reptilians, right? So I've never seen a reptilian to be a human. I would premise they could be crossbreeds. I don't know. So I heard that they are the descent that became these bloodlines, these 13 families. Again, connotatively, I do not know this denotatively. My experience with a reptilian, oh yes, and he had a wing that came out, Seru Shari, from under his arm, right? And it's one of the fights that we were fighting. He flew. But I will tell you something. It's like I'm talking, I remember that fight. Boy, it was a fight. He was shocked. He was sorry. Very surprised, you know. I was very surprised. I think they underestimate the children of God. I think they think we are just a bunch of fools sometimes. So these lines of intense energy and beings that inhabit these energies, right? I see them, speaking from my knowledge, as interdimensional creatures that possess the consciousness. Possess meaning to project their energy and beliefs and attitudes into humans. So I would think these humans that are said to be reptilians are really worshipping Unarasari Kuniartari, where Shoni Sukuniari Turiri, Unkarshari Mama, Turiasa Baba. I think they're worshiping I think they're worshipping these fallen. I think they're worshipping these reptilians. I think they have made shrines to these reptilians and are making offerings of human sacrifices. That's what I think. Kasari is happening. Brother Singh.
Yeah, man. I remember
Mahati.
that flying saucers. They are interdimensional crafts.
Pahati.
You see me? Witches can summon them.
Tahanikati.
You know, some lodge man can summon them.
Nori Shaka.
Illuminati man them.
Holy.
You know? Obia man, voodoo,
Hati.
high priest, you know? Witch doctor,
Hati.
shamans,
Neha.
gurus.
Habahati.
You see me? Them can summon them
Kananisha.
and travel to like the different cities. They have different cities in other dimension there. You know?
Hosha.
You have the one under the ocean,
Hashe.
the marine kingdom.
Neshasha.
You see me? So if somebody don't really know what is a UFO or flying saucer or circle this thing them. Because sometimes you even see them come out of the ocean. You have footage of
Hallelujah.
them, you know. Out of the ocean, them will come and enter the ocean.
I've definitely heard about that for real, in several cases too, on caves too, deep cave and deep
Yes,
subterranean environments as well too.
Yeah, man, and mountains.
Tatari, yes, especially, yes, Tatari, yes, the kingdom beneath. Kozarinari Chingaramama, Hotpaparaniaba, Hori.
And you have reptilians that some of them live, some of them
Mitahari,
physically live on earth.
Handiri.
Lock up in a dark place, have everything to his disposal, them just not reveal themselves.
Yeah, because that's what I think. Because I said, my experience has shown me that the humans go and make sacrifices to them, blood ritual sacrifice of humans to them, and animals in select occasions. And what we call these so-called divine rights to rule is rumored to have come from them, which is a subterfuge of the divine right, which is the right of the Most High. And from the Solomonic time until now, there is a claim, and even some of these royal European bloodlines, right, have intermixed with some of our lines to the Moorish and to the Neolithic periods coming up. But they have also claimed a rise to the what we call the age of metal, right, and the Stone Age to some. During isn't it strange they call it Stone Age and it's the age of metal.
True.
But during the age of metal, it was said that you know, a lot of these creatures, you know, arose, you know, within the Earth's sphere, and because of their knowledge of these properties of, you know, disassembling the molecular structure of the properties of, you know, certain stones, they're able to create high magnetic metal, metallurgy. And so the early infrastructure within, you know, Diluvian civilization was said to be their knowledge. You know, it was said to be from them. That is how the way in which the template, which is the subterfuge of the divine right, became actualized in our world, because it was advanced knowledge. I mean, Bob would call it advanced psychic technology, ingenuity, right?
Yeah,
Which is foreign to us, and hence the word Adanaki from the heavens they came, as the possession of the perception of something falling at rapid rates of speed, right? Not just suggesting a being in its own body, but a craft of its body, or a body of its craft, or a craft out of its body, right? But anyway, this is the knowledge taught to us at Seala by Navi as to the 7 ships that fell, right? So this is from our teacher, the 7 ships of the 7 alien races that came to the planet, right? Or the 7 fallen angels that came in the band with Samael, right? Or Lucifer, or Tarnash, right? To some, right? Interesting knowledge, because it seems that according to folklore and primitive or primal early knowledge, after the fall, they are the first civilization, Kosari, that came up. You know, the Diluvian world built by this abomination of intermix. And again, why I would even think to believe what you're saying, because they're so massive, and I knew it wasn't literal sex, you know, Kantari. It wasn't literal sex, and as I said, because Nabi taught us, it was genetically manipulating. You understand me? So it was that certain what we call in vitro fertilization, because the babies were so huge they killed a lot of the first women. Because the Bible said that they took the daughters of men and they, you know, they went onto them, right? And so that they would bear children. So it was seen that it was sex, but they could not have sex with them. They were massive creatures. They would not be able to enter a human female, right? Sakanari. So it was in vitro. It was an artificial insemination, and several women died. That is why the bloodlines to this day do not have gigantonism unless it is a genetical defect on the telomeres, right? So that happens because it was engineered. You get it? Because the women would never just naturally be able to present, to procreate giant children. So they had to be naturally selected through that scientific process. And over time, they were able to produce the gigantrons, right? So the bloodline, I would say there is scientific and cultural and certainly ancestral evidence to its presence being true. I'm always skeptical to some degree, because the more you get aware, you realize that there have been powerful people. They call themselves all the way to the Solomonic. All these royals, they claim that they're coming from the Solomonic, you know? And this is what I'm talking literally on the books, and they claim divine rights. So there's something there. there is something there, brother.
Yes, sir. And this whole reptilian information and knowledge, it can bring people upon a deep rabbit hole. You know, so that's why we just show you, say, are the enemy same way. You see me? Wrestle not against flesh and blood. Them interdimensional, you see me? We have to be careful of the information out there, man. You see me? Imagine
Absolutely.
the youths nowadays, man, and them hear something like reptilian and start go upon them research and gone far in it. As we have said, me did that before.
And it's in the cartoons, just to say.
True.
It's in the comics, it's in the cartoons, right? And then
True.
when I was studying it too, for a little while there, my teachers told me, when I was around some of the senior teachers, that from in the 50s they had encountered Japanese and Chinese comics that had humans going in spaceship into interdimensions to feed these reptilian guardians of this dimension. So it's been there in folklore, and it's there represented as folklore in the modern age, and these comics are these esoteric manuals, because a lot of these comics, because we're gonna call it what it is, these comics are esoteric manuals. A lot of them have formulae and formulae to conjuring, to gate watching, to dimensional peering. So what am I gonna pretend like it's not saying that? That's what it's doing. So I would say a lot of these children do have this knowledge of a reptilian ethos from the whole Draconian, you know, angle and perspective, more than some of us even can imagine.
Yeah, and it will make you not believe in the Most High, you see me? Because of the same information on History Channel, you know, the ancient aliens. They might try convince we that aliens exist, and it'll go end up bring we away from the Most High, because they must say, so what else they might lie about, you know? So they want to make it seem like aliens real.
are that the aliens are real in the sense that they are God unto us. I think it's not that people dispute that they are interdimensional creatures. People do know that they're interdimensional creatures. But the essence is our ancestors have these spacecraft for over 10,000 years carved in stone long before a European or a so-called progenited reptilian came here.
True.
Right? So it is that I think the replacing of the Most High, Divine Yeshua, Yahuwah, with the premise of a fallen angel. That's what it is. It's just guys in a different language and similitude of attitudes. That's all it is. It's just a guys because they're trying to replace God with an alien.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
Crazy. But you know, it's like we hear about the essence of cults and cult fiction, pulp fiction and pop culture. And pop culture in the modern age is said to be on a democratization of knowledge and information, a free thinking ethos. Like, man, you can think and say what you want to do. We've gone through our baby boomer revolution of our psychedelic, psychotropic awakening. And now we realize that there are more dimensions to the human perception. That is the formulated perception given to us. And it's been proven by enough of us, been spoken of by enough of us to know it is true. But it's like this. It's like someone giving you a gun to put to your head, giving you a gun to put to someone's head, or someone is saying to you, this is the absolute last resort in protecting yourself and your family, and it must be clearly demarcated by a law of engagement. If you are not an aggressor, you cannot be the one to discharge a round first. There's laws to it. So if you go engage in the weaponization of your thinking on this notion that God is an alien because systematically we've been lied to, and this alien in turn gave you technology to source, liberate this so-called Promethean and Aramethian I am the light bearer complex. Like, oh, so God lied to you, and the truth is you're a little God in yourself, really. You can be like Supreme God, it's an election, so you should really move over old time and let us come in place, because literally that's what should happen. But that's not real. And then when that don't work, they say, well, he ain't God. God is over here. You can make your own God. As a matter of fact, if you think that God is not just a thought and you want to see power, well, you know, reptilians got power. They know how to go between dimensions. They know how to be both of a atomic structure and of a subatomic structure. They can travel through the particle, the particle, and the particle, right? They can be sonic, they can be frequency resonance, they can be vibratory, they can be electrotonal, yeah? They can be photosensory, they can be photogenic, right? So in all these planes are projections into our psychic energy. A lot of people are being influenced by the so-called alien tech, because the alien tech comes from a different perception on technology. Because technology, which is in organic ethos, right, and will always be 432, not 440, will always have the frequency of progenity. It is like seeds producing after its kind. It will not be manipulated or modified. Brother Singh.
Yeah, man. The same. Those from heaven to earth came. Them full of deception, full of lies. You see me? Because even the touchy topic that them come from a dragon egg. You know? Come in from them own planet, and even the Nibiru, a whole heap of little rabbit hole in it, you know, Planet X.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know?
Yes.
And when you check it out, them come from the heavens. You see me?
Cast out of the heavens, cast out of the seventh heaven according to the Bible, onto the third heavens, right?
True.
Cast out of the higher dimension, right? So the essence of the cycle of Nibiru, the cycle of the divine plane, right? Coming across to a particular, let's just say, celestial body that is going counter, because its orbit was counter to the divine sequence, right? It's like the whole independent meditation, I do as thou wilt. It caused confusion and a collision course, creating what is called the Milky Way. Yeah, the descent of that higher frequency into a lower ethos, right? Something likened unto human but not human. Almost that's why they feed upon the human energy field, right? It is like the chitari, right, that feeds upon the human energy field. It's like a little nimbus, yeah? A little Yoda whispering in your ears of profound knowledge of functionality of a structure. Because if we are in the design of a structure, we're not the designer, but someone came and gave you blueprints onto the design. That is a knowledge from outside. How did you get it? You're not from outside. Where are your models and your charts coming from? You see? So as you say, it goes far, and we're not going to go all the way down this rabbit hole, because our whole issue is to say tethered to the lifeline of Yeshua Mashiach, to Yahuwah. And as such, we are tethered, Kasuri. We are being pulled back to also pull you up from the depths of your own confusion and your own enticement and entrapment based upon, you know, the sweet modicums of energy there throwing your way to beguile you. Yeah? Charming spirits they are, whispering winds of no value. Grasp unto the living spirit immortal, that when that word is spoken, it will manifest as transformation in behavior. Life indeed will come from you. Babies will be born from your copulation with good, soulful mates in the opposite balance. Love and joy. Let us live a godly existence, one that is natural in the hue manifestation of the electrotonal, the gift of God, the electromagnetic, the masculine and the feminine, harmonized as life. Let us cling to each other in faith and love. Until next time, this has been The Great Owl, Jerome Sage, Butler, right here, Reasons at the Trail Life, with my co-host, Brother Ramon Singh, just reminding you, stay on the path of love, right? Stay attuned to the frequency of divine. Perfect love. Perfect love.